Hey everyone! Welcome to another wonderful episode of Wives Wind Down. Pew 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 pew. Yes, welcome to another night. I am your girl, your host, Shonda White, and I'm so excited to be here tonight. Make sure if you're just joining us to grab your drinks, whether it's wine, water, whatever's your fancy. Make sure you grab a drink, pull up with your girls, and come along for the ride. Hey ladies, hey Renita, hey Princess, hey 𝘠𝘠𝘠𝘠, and Love 𝘠𝘠𝘠𝘠 babies, and hey y'all, see you in a second. Hey Lexi, y'all come on into the room. Yes, hey Tiffany. I'm so excited to have you all here. I am your host, Shonda White, and this is Wives Wind Down. And I'm so excited. If this is your first time, welcome. You are in for a treat. We're going to have a great time. We're going to kiki, sit back. Again, grab your little drinks, whatever you're drinking on tonight. I'll have a little wine tonight. And I've been married for 12 years now, and I can't believe it. Time is flying by. My husband was talking about it the other day. Like, he's known me since I was 24, which is crazy. And I'll be 40 this year, which is crazy. Yeah, but anyway, that's a whole other topic. But I wanted to create a space where we could come, just relax, have fun, and just keep it real about what it really takes to not only get married, but stay married. I know when I first got married, there were things that happened in our marriage early on, and I would think like, oh my gosh, like, why are we having these arguments? Like, what's going on? And sometimes I would think it was just us. And so I would kind of panic a little bit. And there really wasn't anyone talking about real marriage stuff and like being honest about it. And then once I would talk to wives, like one-on-one, they'd be like, oh yeah, girl, it's just little growing pains, or it's fine. Like, we went through the same thing. I'm like, well, why didn't anybody tell me? So I wanted to create an outlet, whether you are single, whether you are going to get married, whether you aspire to be married, you've been married for 5 months, 5 years, whatever. I wanted to create a space so we could just pull back that curtain and just keep it real and honest about what it really takes to get and stay married. And just show the highs and the lows and, the work that it takes and how wonderful it is. Because y'all know I love me some black love too, but just love in general. I just love to talk about relationships, and I want to talk to real women who's going to keep it real, be honest, and be transparent. And I'm telling you all, if you've missed an episode, you've missed a treat, because they have been fantastic. And I know tonight is no exception. So, somebody giving rich auntie energy. She said, finally have a name that is IG appropriate. I love it. I don't know who that is. I have a feeling who I think it is. But hey, ladies. Hey, Lily and Cheryl and Radiance and Shirani. Yes. So get into it. Again, if this is your first time, welcome. And if you are some of my day ones, I appreciate y'all so much. For those who are curious, you can catch the replay after IGT, or on my IGT after we wrap. So if you missed something, you can always go back, and it'll be available on my YouTube, because Wives Wind Down is on YouTube now. Yay! So without further ado, I want to welcome and bring on our guest. Let's see. Y'all, you might have to request again, because I probably was talking too much. But yes, go ahead and hit that request button real quick for me, and I'll make sure I get you. Oh, there we go. Boom. God, won't he do it? Come on. In the name of Jesus. But yes, I'm so happy to see y'all. Oh, yes. Hey. Yes, earrings.
Yes, we're going to give a little razzle dazzle.
Yes. I love it. How are you doing? You look so cute tonight.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited. Listen, we are ready. The people are ready to hear from you, because I'm going to call you Sensei. I'm like, teach us why, Sensei, because you have these 52 days. We're going to get all into it. But before we get into it, I want to introduce you to the people for those who may not know. So let me formally introduce you to the folk, okay?
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all on here. Hughes, your purpose cultivator, has successfully been coaching, teaching, and igniting people for more than a decade. With more than 15 years experience in holding a Master of Education in Community Counseling, she couples her formal education, professional training, and experiences with biblical principles to work with you to explore what is possible in life, gain clarity and focus, and change unhealthy life patterns. Yes. She is also the proud best-selling author of 3 books, count them, 1, 2, 3, and has been featured in Huffington Post as one of the 16 global entrepreneurs to pay attention to. So, y'all, give it up for y'all in the chat and clap it up.
Hey, y'all.
Yes. So, how are you doing? How are you feeling right now? How's your week going? Mentally, spiritually, how you doing?
I am doing great. Today was my Friday, so I'm looking forward to Thursday and Friday off. It's
Yes.
really good week. Sometimes the quarantine weeks just go a little crazy. So it's been pretty good. Mentally, I am great. Spiritually, I'm wonderful. Physically, a little tired. So I'm looking forward to the rest and not having to get up so early tomorrow and all of that good stuff. And yeah. So,
Yes.
oh,
Yes. Cheers to your Friday. I will have a similar week to yours next week, moving into Mother's Day. I'll finally get to see my mother. So I totally feel you on this being your Friday. So live it up, girl.
yes.
Yes. So, okay, we know about these dates. We're going to get into the dates because I'm telling you, the people, they was like, listen, I need help. Oh, I said, I got y'all. Y'all's got us covered. But before we get into that, I want to kind of go all the way back to the beginning.
Okay.
I know I like to research a little bit. So I came across this one post that you said about your husband. You said he came after my self season, a season of me being alone, learning who I was, dating me exclusively, and spending time with me, which I can totally relate to. I know all about that. What would you say was one of the biggest lessons you learned during your self season?
First of all, I learned who I was, right? I think that we kind of go through, we think we know who we are. And then there's a moment in your life where you feel that there's a shift, that you're changing, you're growing, things aren't the same, and you can't fully pinpoint what that is. So I think my biggest thing when I went through my self season, right, that unlearning, that introducing me to me, what do I like outside of what everybody told me I should like, what you grew up thinking and all of that, it was who am I and what do I desire? And that led me on to a series of dating myself, right? I dated me before my husband dated me. I needed, to be able to tell you what I liked and did not like and expose me to stuff so that I'm not, looking for somebody raggedy son to do that.
Oh,
sorry.
Raggedy.
Listen, I had some raggedy people. I had some raggedy sons before my husband. Okay. So that was the biggest thing that I learned in that time of myself was who am I? What is it that I truly wanted? And I continue to kind of take that time to say, who have I become now? Where am I growing? And it requires sometimes that I reintroduce myself to my husband, to my family, all of that. They be raggedy sometimes.
Listen, the questions are already coming in. The people want to know. Someone asked, how do I have a self season during marriage if you didn't have one while single?
I get that question a lot. So I think that a self season doesn't mean that when you're married that you have to be by yourself, but it means that you are taking time outside of the roles and the responsibilities to figure out who you are right now. And that sometimes looks like you having me time, that you have a me day. It doesn't mean that you peace out, I'm leaving, but it means that what do I need in this moment and in this season, and how can I honor myself and give me that? How can I begin to give me what I need so that I can be better at all of the roles that I play, because they are roles. They are not indicative of who you are. So I think that we have to be intentional about saying, I need this, right? And communicating what you need and not looking for him to give it to you.
Listen, we just getting started. You already brought a whole word. I think that is so profound. And thank you to the lady who asked that question. I think that's so profound because like you said, you can still have that season even when you're married, because we're constantly evolving, we're becoming. So who you were in your 20s is definitely different. I know for me, I'm definitely different than who I was in my 20s. So like you said, showing up for yourself and speaking up and communicating your needs and taking that time to really figure out, like, who am I supposed to be? Who am I? So I love that. Yes. Yes. We see you. Lakia, she said, communicate what you need. Yes. She felt that. And somebody said, dope. Giving rich auntie energy. I don't know who that is, but I love the name.
Yeah, go on and give the rich auntie energy. Yes.
We're here for it. Now, also going kind of sticking in the beginning, I love that you said this about your husband. You said he's not the man of my dreams because I didn't dream much of love or marriage growing up. He is, however, everything God thought of me. Whew. And listen, my question, because I felt that in my spirit. Because sometimes you don't know what you need until the Lord gives you what you need, you know? So what are those intangibles about your husband that you felt like was showing you this is how God thought of me? What was that like?
He was so caring and understanding, and I always say that he was kind of the beautiful surprise, right? You think you know what you want, right? You want something that's 6 feet, that's this, that's that, and sometimes 6 feet get you in trouble, right? You know, we kind of pick things that we think that we need. And I think for me, it was his attention to my inner person, right? He could tell what I needed. He was very thoughtful. He still is all of those things. So for me, we could have conversations about anything, but you know, like it was the communication, it was, you know, him really just, and I remember, you know, just sharing, like putting it out there who I was, what season I was in. I you know, like I came out of a, you know, like bad relationships, learning who I was. And he was like, I remember just being so nervous, and I called him in. Just a little backstory. We went to college together, and we worked at the same university, and my was a police officer on campus, and I worked in housing. And I remember before we started dating, but we knew that like we flirt and we like each other. And I just was like, let me lay it out on the line now. Here is where I am. You know, I am improving my walk with the Lord. I ain't all the way there yet. I'm not sitting in church 12 times. Y'all, my mouth was a mess. I'm not sitting in church all day, every day. I understand who you are, you know, but that's not where I am. Here is all of the things that I'm struggling with, I fight through, and here is where I am. And he was like, you called me over here for that? Okay. You know, it was like, that was nothing to him. Like, you're not dealing with a little boy kind of thing. So it was, okay, you know, he's not running from, you know, the little things, or he's not so religious and up here that he can't remember when you went through this season, right? So I think these were the intangible things for me that really was like, okay, this is somebody that I want to pay attention to and give my attention to.
That's good. You said so much in that, like the fact that you said you laid it all out there and being vulnerable and saying like, this is me. So it's like, because sometimes I feel like I used to do that. I used to try to change up versus like, no, this is me. I'm going to present myself. Either you can deal with it or you can't, like take it, flaws and all, or not. But then you also said like he wasn't running from things. Like he was willing to go in there with you and to like stick with you. He's like, I'm unbothered by whatever you're bringing to the table, because he could see past that and he was willing to like fight through that with you. Yeah. Woo! Somebody said good stuff. And come on, flirt. And I love all of this. And Lady Quay, yes, she said my husband is short. Okay, listen, they come in all sizes. They come in all sizes.
Don't miss it because it don't come in, you know, the size that you went there for extra large, and they like, man, we got a medium right now, and you somewhere sucking your teeth.
Yes, yeah. I love it. Whew. Oh, this is blessing my soul. Yes, somebody said all sizes. Now, let's go on and get into this. Okay, for those of you all who don't know, it was such a divine moment how me and y'all met virtually. And then we had just recently ended up on the same date night. It was a date night where we were dancing. I'm like, yeah, we just met virtually. Like the Lord can do, he's just divine like that.
He is.
And I learned a little prior to that y'all and her husband, for those you all don't know, have had date night. Counted 52. This week will mark 52 times. So they've had a date night every single week. So first question, as we kind of dig into this a little deeper, was this like this pre-panoramic, or was this like post-panoramic? Because you could see the writing on the wall, like, okay, we're gonna really have to be extra intentional.
So this joint we have to be extra intentional. So we did go on date nights, right? We would go out when we had started paying a babysitter. We started going out. So we were going out every other week, post-panoramic, right? Pre-panoramic.
Right.
And it was, we had a babysitter, all of that. And then we were like, yes, we were at this place where we were like back to connecting, we were in a season, because we were coming out of a season of, ministry, this, that, and the third. You don't get the time, right? Kids are small, all of that, like work requires a lot. And we have like a marriage meeting at the end of every year. So we have a marriage meeting, kind of, what have we done well as spouses? What is it that we could work better on? What we need to pay attention to? So we both agreed that going into 2019, 2020, that we needed to be more intentional about dating. So we put it in a budget. We got a babysitter that would come every other week, and we would go out on dates, and we would go away every quarter. Every 2 weeks we would go on a date, and every quarter we would go somewhere. And we had just came back from our quarter going away, like right after Valentine's Day, and then COVID hit. So it was naturally, you could not like bring somebody in. We were nervous for the baby, all of that. So it was all, like, what are we going to do? And how are we going to do this? And I'll wait for the next question to kind of really get into it.
Listen, go there. Because I wanted to start first, like, how did you come up? Like, were you all just sitting and like, you know what, we need to increase the frequency, or like what was that light bulb that went off that was like, okay, let's increase?
The conversation looked like we couldn't have nobody come in, right? We were scared to have people come in, but we felt like we had just got back to this place of being really, connected and giggly and googly from dating. And we just came back from a weekend away, like, in the thought of all of that, like, going away, and like, we in here with these kids all day, every day, what we gonna do? So we were like, let's just have date night in. It didn't start with let's have every week a date night. Let's have date night in. And I was like, I'm going to get dressed. I went to Target and found me a cute little dress. I put the heels on, and he was like, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to get stuff together. This is that and the third. And I remember coming down the steps dressed up, feeling like, oh, like, this is, and he was like, you look good. The kids snapped a picture. We told them go upstairs, and our first date night was a wine tasting. So he went and got like 4 different bottles of wine. We had our charcuterie board. He made some little appetizers, and that was our first official quarantine date night. And it was the week after Easter last year.
Oh my gosh. Somebody already got the question. Okay, we're gonna get to that in a little bit. Now, what helped you make this, especially because you said the kids were there? So did you all do all of them at home, or did you sometimes like go out? Like, was it a mixture of both, or were they like,
out of the 51, it'll be 52 on Saturday dates, 48 of them were home, y'all. 48 were home.
You got statistics for us.
Like, we only went out 3 times. We only went out 3 times. Everything was in our home, in our backyard, in the garage. Like, we were intentional about that. So after that first night, we were talking, we were laughing. All right. So my daughter, we call her sis. If you follow me on any social media, when I say sis, for the most part, I'm talking about her. If I'm not talking to you like right now, I'm talking about her. So we call her sis. And sis would come down the steps every 10 minutes. Are you guys done yet? I just want to check on y'all. I just want to. So we kept sending her back upstairs. We kept sending. Then my son would come down, was like, y'all okay? Y'all good? So we were like, yo, you know, like, we gotta kind of, so it really took about maybe 5 dates for us to say, don't come downstairs. This is our time, you know, put a movie on. Let's order them a movie. Let's make sure they have what they have. And they weren't allowed downstairs during that time. So rewind, after the first date, we kind of went upstairs and we were just talking and was like, this felt good. We should do this on a regular. So we said, well, since you plan this one, I'll plan the next one. So it became every other week, each spouse was taking the responsibility. So we sat there and we said, you plan this one, I'll plan the next one. So then we kind of said, so what are our parameters? We're not going to do it before 8 o'clock because we not going to have no time to ourselves, right? And the only rules were that you had to do whatever the other person created that night. You had to be all in, even if you didn't like it, right? Because that person took their time throughout the week to think about it, to plan it. So you had to be full in with it. And you could not say no to whatever it was that they did. So that was our only rule. Get as creative as you want, do what it is, but you had to do whatever it is that person planned.
Oh my, this is a whole, I got just writing down all these tips. Now, I'm sure somebody's wondering, and everyone in the comment, they're like, so good. I love date nights. Boundaries for the babies. Yes, because we love alliteration. Thank you, Angela. Someone said the intention, doing things on purpose. Love this. Listen, that's why we had to talk about it. Now, I'm sure somebody's wondering, well, how old are her kids? And like, well, I got little ones. How can I, like, do you have any advice for?
This is 6, okay?
What'd you say? Hold on, say it one more time.
This is 6. The boy is 13.
Okay.
So we got end of the spectrums here. I know, you know, and you would think that 13 was coming downstairs all the time. Any picture that you guys saw with us in it together, the 13-year-old took. Sometimes we let sis take it. So what I started doing with sis would put my lipstick on for me. So after sis put my lipstick on, she knew that was kind of her key, that after you put the lipstick on, you gotta go in your room, you know, or they would help daddy plan downstairs, transform the downstairs, and I had to close my eyes and they would walk me down the steps. So we got them in the beginning of it to get involved, and then they knew from there they needed to go upstairs, and they weren't allowed to come back down to access what we were doing, how long we were going to be. They needed to entertain each other or themselves for 2 hours. Like, give us 2 hours of uninterrupted time. And now it's like, what y'all doing for date night? Like, what time is date night? So it's such a norm in the house that it's no longer, mommy, what you doing? How long you're going to be? And I think I saw somebody that said they had a newborn, a 2-year-old, and it may not look like you're doing it every single week like we did, but I think that you have to be intentional and honor the commitments that you make to one another. If you're saying that we're going to date every other week, that there is nothing that can stop that. So for us, date night was on Saturdays, right? My friends don't call me after 6 o'clock on Saturday, because between 6 and 7:30, I'm getting ready. I got dressed as if we were going on a full-fledged date. There was no, you know, whatever I was wearing when we would go out on a date was the same stuff that I was wearing in the house. Actually, I was wearing more stuff because I was having my belly out and all that stuff in the house. I wasn't having my belly out, you know.
Yes.
In the street. So he got to see a different side, because it was like, you coming down here with your shirt tied up, with your this, with your that. So, you know, like it was to the point where my friends will be like, all right, he one upping you. Like he doing good stuff. Like, what are you doing this week? Because last week my brother killed it. So what you doing? I was like, y'all, it's not a competition. But they be like, yo, his dates. So if you go back and I'm gonna put them all together at like after this 52.
Please.
My husband would transform the living room. When I say transform, one night we did like, he knows that I love to dance. Like I used to be in the right all the time.
Yes.
No more, but sis gonna be at the reception, the wedding reception, cutting up. Okay, so he took and ordered a backdrop, right? Intentional. We don't know. So at this point, it became a whole thing. You don't know what the date night is. He would send an evite and be like, you need to be. So our street name is Lexington. So he was like, Club Lex.
That's where I'm from, Lexington, Kentucky.
Wow.
Originally.
So he cut out, I mean, he used the box and cut out LEX and put it up. He had a back, like he covered all of the walls in the living room with black tablecloth. He bought a strobe light, and he had some wine, a playlist, and we moved the furniture, and we literally danced all night long. So it was things like that, and it was the intention and the creativity, and just seeing that, you know, that I love to dance. So these are the things that you did. So we would try to just, you know, like, what is it that we want to experience with one another? And that became what the date was for that night. And sometimes the strobe light was $12 at Amazon. The backdrop was $6, and we cooked, right? So it wasn't always $100 or a $200 date. It was the intention behind it and us having 2 hours of uninterrupted time.
Listen, the chat is so lit, I can't even keep up. They said, this is so dope. This is lit. How sweet is this? Somebody said earlier, I'm trying to find the comment about, yes, thank you, Lady Quay. She said, imagine how intentional your children would be within their marriage because of the example you set for them. That's all I kept thinking was like, look at the example that you're setting for your children. And now for us, the fellow wives, the future wives that may be on here, like, thank you for doing this. Cause like, I mean, this is intentional, and be encouraged to the sister who has the newborn. Like you were saying, it might be every other week. It might be once a month, but whatever it is, like, be consistent and be intentional about it, because obviously your children are in a different. Yeah, go ahead.
It may not be in the evening. Some of our dates was breakfast. We got up at 6:30 in the morning. I woke him up one time at 5:45 to watch the sunrise. You know, he drinks coffee, I drink tea. I had like some little danishes and that kind of stuff. And we literally sat on the front porch and watch the sunrise. So you gotta think differently. Don't put yourself in a box of a date is movie or at nighttime or things like that. Like whatever you can get, even if it's starting with an hour. You know, this is an hour of us uninterrupted while the baby is asleep, while, you know, you put on Coco Melon and something else for the 2-year-old and the 4-year-old, and you really slip away and just have a moment with yourself. So you got to begin to think beyond, we only go out at nighttime, we go to the movies, we do this, and we come back. Like, what are things that you want to experience with your spouse and create those experiences?
That part, you got to create them. What are those experiences and create them? I love that. You helping some sisters tonight. Let me tell you, you are helping.
I'm glad.
Somebody said, we have a newborn, but we make it work. Yes, you got to make it work, because at the end of the day, you're the parent. So, I mean, I know you can't control everything, but there's some things you can like make way for, you know, and accommodate for each other. But Ooh. Now, would you say you talked about, you know, the dancing night? Was that one of your favorites, or was I remember seeing the one where y'all kind of transformed your the outdoor in the backyard, and y'all had like this, you know, canopy, and it was all what, not a canopy, but it was like a table. There was like a curtain or something, like a table. I think
So
it might have been the anniversary or
that was
something.
anniversary, and I paid an event planner to come and transform the backyard. So I was going to get a chef, but at the time the chef couldn't come, so I had all of the food that the chef was going to cook. I made the lamb chops, this, is that, and the third. And while they were transforming the backyard, I was cooking. He was upstairs. He didn't get a chance to see the backyard until that time. So that was always our rule. You can't come down if it's whoever turn it is until, you know, it's time to come on the date. So we got an opportunity to just sit with each other, and it was different, right? Because we transformed our backyard. And then so that was one of my favorite. The disco night definitely was a favorite. And he planned a dinner en blanc. He was like, you gotta wear all white. He cooked, he made salmon salad, everything was white. We had the fire pit out there, and we were just out and we were just talking, and we had our white on. Everything at the table was white, just like a dinner en blanc. And I was like, you did all of this yourself? So they were all great, but these were some of our favorites. And the other one was, we turned the garage into a drive-in movie theater. So when I say you kind of have to really be, like, we literally pulled the car in, we got a projector, put a sheet up, we watched the movie, we had popcorn, we had nachos. Again, all of the things that, you know, like are in your home that you're taking for granted. And we put on a movie on Netflix. I mean, the Wi-Fi work in the garage, so why not just do something like that? So that was the early on, and the kids crashed that one. So after a while, we had them come in the back, and we gave them the iPads and the headphones, and they were watching their own stuff while we continued to watch ours. And so we didn't stop it because the kids came, right? I don't know if you caught that. We did not stop.
Oh, I caught it.
The kids came, we gave them something to do so that we can continue adult conversation, so that we can continue watching our movie. They wasn't able to hear what the movie we were watching or anything like that because they had their own headphones on.
You know, like in the words of my sis Renita, she said, this is amazing. And it is, like, but I like that you've shown a range, you've discussed a range. Like, it can be as simple as movie night or cooking each other dinner, the wine taste, go pick up some wines, and you were as elaborate as hiring somebody. Sometimes, you know, we can take the pressure off ourselves and say, you know what, I'll plan a little something, I'll get dressed up, but I'm gonna have so and so come over here and cook the food or decorate. Like, I'm like, dang, why am I thinking of that?
Pressure off. And you figure, you know, like before we were budgeting to pay for a babysitter, so all of that money that we saved, go ahead, let me hire somebody to come and do this part while I do this part.
Yeah. I think LB said it earlier. She was like, yeah, this is so good. Like, this needs to be on TV or something. I'm like, this needs to be a class or something, because the ideas, and some of them are so simple. I'm like, yeah, like you could do that. Like, it's so, and Amazon, who hasn't been ordering off Amazon? Like,
you order everything off Amazon. Y'all, I ordered a massage table off the Amazon with the stool, okay? And then you take, I'm gonna give y'all this one. Then you take and go and get the little crock pot, not the big one. You know, that little teeny one that you put the little dip in that you take over somebody's house. Go and get that, go to Michael's and get you some rocks, i.e. hot stones, and you put them joints in the crock pot upstairs in your room. You go to Bath and Body Works and get you some massage oil. Thank you, God bless, and y'all have fun. Lock the door. You know, YouTube, everybody got smart TVs now. Turn on YouTube. You put spa music in. It'll go for 2 hours, and it'll be the spa music. You got the white candles lit all around. The lights dim. you give a massage. I even went to TJ Maxx and got a robe for both of us. Like, it did not cost a whole lot, but we had a great time.
Listen, this is, I just can't even. And I want to let the people know, for those of y'all who don't know, they are not newlyweds. So don't be in there like, well, that's nice and all that. Listen, y'all 13 years in the game.
We will be 4 years in June. So it's not, oh yeah, that's because they knew, and it's really being intentional, and we rediscovered one another. Like, you know, the hustle and bustle sometimes, but seeing and experiencing first together like this, you know, him, you know, I asked him before, you know, I came down, like, what would you say was the best part for you? And he was just like, seeing your face light up every time, you know, like you came down those steps and experienced it. Send these emails to your husband. Okay. So you like it really put the fire back in to it. Yes, Denisha. So my goddaughter on here, like, oh, and the
yes
too, and the cafe. She's like, why do I know all of these dates? So listen, Sunday morning, my phone will be like, what did y'all do yesterday? You ain't post no pictures yet. Give me a minute. Or like, I'll be like, couldn't post these pictures. Hint, hint. You know, because it was some days where you just could not post pictures. You know, on November 1st, after October 31st, all costumes go 50 to 70% off, ladies. God bless you. Okay?
You better give us these tips, Sensei.
You know.
I'm writing them down.
You know, go on to the little Saints. You don't want to go in the Halloween store on Halloween, go the day after and just take your oil if you need to, but go on and get you something.
You gotta tell them, y'all. Listen, and you know, somebody said they're excited to try the spa massage. And you know what? We've had some nice spa nights. I will say that. But you know what I didn't have was that spa chair. Okay.
$119, sis. It'll bless you. It folds down and go under the bed.
I can have my own spa chair.
Get your own spa chair.
You are helping us tonight.
And I think, you know, just we look forward to it. So number 52 is his. So I'm like, what we doing? He like, we not breaking the rules. I'm not telling you. I'm like, okay.
Now, I don't know if anybody's thinking this question, but one of the ladies may be thinking it, may be scared to ask, but I'll ask on your behalf. What if, because I love that you said that you and your husband like switch it up. So that's kind of like, not a rule, but I feel like it's like one of the guidelines, one of the things y'all work through. But what if their husband maybe isn't as creative? Like, do you feel like that's something that comes natural to your husband and so it was easier for him? Or was it that he saw like you being creative? Like, what do you think kind of helped encourage him to come up with ideas as well?
So I think it was because we were in the house, right? And you had to be. So I wouldn't say that before this, he was creative, right? Like he would plan days and be like, okay, we're going out here or we're going there. But seeing this, he created like a Japanese night, y'all. And I was like, he went to the store and, you know, I was peeking a little bit of like, he got yellow and red construction paper. He would be on the tutorial, like cutting up the little things, doing that. So I think that he became all in because he wanted to see my reaction. It wasn't like, oh, he's creative. It was more, let me see what I'm gonna do kind of thing. And, you know, like he was killing the game. But naturally, my husband is not as outgoing. He's reserved. He's all of that. But, you know, it developed over time. In the beginning, it was a movie night. You know what I mean? Like it was a wine tasting. It was this. But the rule was, whatever it was, you can't be like, what we doing? Why we doing this? This is boring. Like this is uninterrupted time. So one night it was, we binged watch a show, All American, like all seasons, right? And was talking about it and was laughing. And we had wings in the bed, which we don't usually eat upstairs, you know, so it was stuff like that. And I think knowing who your spouse is and being okay with what their best is and not looking for your husband. Mine. He's not going to be my husband, right? He's yours. And his may just be, I went and got us a movie and I want to watch a movie, but it is an opportunity for y'all to be together. You do something different on yours. And, you know, your husband may not be for the whole, we going to do whatever. You know, they may have some, I'm not doing that, right? So knowing who your spouse is and planning accordingly in the beginning, and then allow for it to kind of warm up. If they are a person that's saying, like, I'll try anything once, then you have somebody to try anything once. But you know who you're married to, and make sure that you are not making it more of a burden and arguing and comparing. Well, I want to do this and I want to do that. If that's not who your spouse is. Now, there are certain things that I know he's not going to do. So I wouldn't even plan those because I know that that would be a stretch. And why would I mess the date up?
That's good. Knowing who your spouse is. And I'm just hoping and praying. And I can just tell by the chats, like, you're helping us so much. My greatest hope is that, like, after tonight and even after this, for those who will watch the replay, that this will start to, like, be more normal versus, because I know I'm sitting there like, this is amazing, you know? And I think, you know, my husband and I do a fairly good job of having date nights. We definitely didn't do no 52, okay? But we could have, and we probably should have. And like you said earlier, it's not going to be everybody's reality. It might be every other week. It might be once a month, but just being intentional. And so I hope that this starts to normalize that, because I feel like there's this perception of marriage is mundane and it's boring, and that's just not it. Like, I refuse it for my marriage, and I don't receive that. So I'm praying that, like, women listening to you tonight and whenever they listen to this, they will be inspired, and their husbands. I think this is a great conversation for husbands to listen to as well, so that they don't take on that marriage is going to be mundane. Like, it doesn't have to be that. Like, you are a living witness and a testimony to that.
Yeah, it doesn't have, so that whole, you know, marriages, you know, you're the same person for the rest of your life. One, we grow, we evolve. So there's opportunity to introduce him to who you are right now. And I think for us, we got back into that giddy phase, right? You remember getting ready for when y'all were dating and when y'all were courting or whatever y'all were doing. So me being upstairs while he's downstairs and like, what am I going to wear today? What I want to smell like? All of those things were important for us. You know, like, he did a beach night, y'all, and he, like, in the house. Now, there was no sand, but we had like a tan comforter. He put it all on the floor. And then he had the TV with the sand. And he said we were in Jamaica. He had a Jamaican playlist. We playing calypso music. We're doing those things. And it was like, I would have never known you to dance to Caribbean music or to do that. He brought the beach chairs in and we sitting there and we just talking and those kind of things. And it was like, oh, you know, so I think that, you know, you got to know and understand that it's going to be different, but it's all going to be what you make it to be. Right? So it doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be mundane. What if the pandemic continues? Are you going to say for the next 2 years that you're not going to experience things with your spouse, that you're not going to do anything, you know, different? So for us, we didn't know how long it was going to last. And now we have this running joke. What are we going to do when the world opens up? Because we don't want to just go out to eat. Like, we don't want to just go to the movies. So we're looking for, okay, what are some experiences that's going to help continue to cultivate this that we could do outside, right? That we could do that's different. And that's going to measure up to our own date nights in the house.
Yeah, because it's one thing to stunt for the gram and be like, yeah, I'm here, I'm there. But it's another thing to create those experiences within your own four walls. And that's exactly what y'all did, because y'all shared these experiences together in the comfort of your own home and went all out.
You know, nobody was watching. There was none of that. All of that. And I think I saw somebody say, what was the phone rule? After my children took the pictures and we took pictures, so I would be like, I'm gonna leave my phone upstairs. He'd be like, no, go get the phone to take pictures of what it looked like. And then we would take the pictures of what it looked like, airdrop them to each other, and then the phone goes away. Like, it was intentional time with just us. And, you know, afterwards, you know, like, if, you know, afterwards ain't lead to something else at that time, it was like, you know, you could post now if you want to, or you could post later. So that's why some days I was posting on Saturday night, some days I wasn't posting till Sunday afternoon. It's just a matter of, you know, like, so our rule was, you know, like, even when we go out, the phone gotta, you know, like, I done gave my job 37.5 hours. I done gave, you know, my clients this amount of hours. I done scrolled this amount of hours. And, you know, like, if I can't be intentional with these 2 hours, nobody is worth seeing. He right here, the kids upstairs. What am I looking for? Who am I looking at? So just making sure that, you know, like, you be intentional with that. So just trying, and it's hard. You kind of, oh, let me just scroll real quick. No, one night we did a question, like, just asking each other questions, like pulling them out. And it was just like, oh, you know, like, all of these different questions over dinner. So it's just getting to know them in a different way, because these aren't questions that you would just normally ask. So we used, one of my friends has Elevate Relationships. They have a couples question, like 52 card deck. And like, we would just pull questions out and ask questions and do things like that.
Yes, I love it. We were definitely doing things like that. I think his name was Gary Chapman. We definitely gotta get your friends' cards. You can drop it in the chat, you or somebody, because I would love to support. And even like culture tags, which is hilarious. Like, we played that one night. It was, my husband was, I was like, you ain't gonna get church, you ain't gonna get none of these. And then I would like do bad with songs, and he was like nailing them. I was like, dang. So it was like, it was funny to see like the different categories, and that was funny, and it was fun. But yeah, like, some of it doesn't take a whole lot. I think the whole theme of everything that you've said tonight is intention, and just being intentional. And sometimes someone asked about, like, you know, what if you feel like you're gonna be the one to plan it? But I think that sometimes it takes, like, someone has to take the lead. Like, someone has to be the example.
Mm-hmm. And if that's, and your job is to create an experience with your spouse, okay, right? And I think when we stop doing the whole tabs, I always plan. If they not a planner, play to your strengths and plan, sis. You know, and communicate when you want him to do it, and lead, and give him some ideas. He may just not get it or be there. Hey, babe, I want for you to plan a date. Here are some, I'm gonna give you 5 things. You pick one of the 5. At least you gave him an option, right? And then you can't be like, but do it this way, and then do it this way, and it ain't look like this. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. He was the bomb for y'all to be married or about to be married.
Okay. All right. Listen, you preach it, sis. Okay. Because I think we do that sometimes. We're like, I want him to, child. My husband tells me all the time, I cannot read your mind. Like, they can't. And some of them, let's be honest, ladies, it's the ladies, okay? Might be some folks. Sometimes they just need a little help, okay? Sometimes they need a little guidance. That's what YouTube and Google's for. You know, you want to go on a patio date, send them some patio restaurants, and you be like, you reserve. Okay.
There we go. Here's a couple dates. Here's a couple things that I want to try, right? I would love to do da 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 da. They listen, but sometimes you got to steer them. Again, they're not mind readers, and if he don't know what you want to experience, how can he assist with the experience?
Listen, y'all, you have blessed us. I'm like, We need to figure out something because this needs to be a book, something, honey. Like something needs to come.
The book. When are y'all gonna do couples this? When are you guys gonna do this? Y'all, I promise you, just let us get through this season, and we got y'all. We got y'all. We have decided to kind of like put together 20 of the best dates, how we did them, how much they cost, all that into like an ebook, and we got some stuff for you guys. We got some stuff for you guys.
Yes, and no pressure.
Write that down.
What'd you say?
Somebody said a podcast, please. My God.
Listen, you already got 52 episodes, and if you have it, you could have 2 years of episodes. That's 25 episodes each year.
Yeah, and both of us doing it together. Okay, all right. All right.
No pressure, but we just know, and like I said, the chat has been lit all night, and I just know how much it's blessed me. But when I heard 52, I said, "No, come on now, what now?" When I first met you, you was like, "We've had," at that time it was maybe like 40 something so far.
Yes.
But I said, and I asked you this week, I was like, "What number y'all on there?" You said 52. Come on, divine timing. Come look at Jesus.
A whole year. And it's like, will we go? Like, it's just exciting. I can't wait till Saturday. I cannot wait till Saturday.
I can't wait for Saturday. Now, we'll be on a birthday. My husband's birthday. Shout out to my husband. His birthday's this weekend.
That's how it's about Monday, Tuesday. So you need to be off that phone.
Yes.
Happy birthday, husband.
Yep. Happy birthday, husband. I already told him to get a little cute for him and start. Yes. Okay, so before we wrap, this has been incredible, y'all. I feel like we could talk about this all night because this is amazing, and this is what we need to see and hear. Like, people are doing this in marriage. And again, like, for some, it may seem like a lofty goal, like 52, that's a lot. But you know what, sis? Like you encouraged us, just got to start somewhere and do what's within your power and your capacity. So to that point, this was amazing.
Thank you for having me. This was amazing. This is like the first. Everybody like, go live, do this. I'm like, okay, y'all. But I'm gonna find the time to really go live, do this, and just really share. And maybe we'll go live together. I don't know.
But you know, the most important part is that you going live with your husband, okay, in real life. Because at the end of the day, marriage is our first ministry. So while we do appreciate it, and you know, if I have to do another interview with y'all because she ain't got time because she's on dates with her husband, then that's what we'll do. But the fact that you are putting your marriage first and that's your first ministry, that's also like a testimony and just a friendly reminder to us, like, yeah, this is nice and all, but at the end of the day, you got some dates to plan. So you booked and busy with your husband.
Yes.
And I saw some people in the comments, they said they can't wait to plan date night. So it's working, sis.
Right. Afterwards, y'all tag me. Y'all let me know how it went. If you need some ideas, I was like, let me write a few down just in case. I think I gave y'all some. But if you need some ideas, let me know, and I got you. Like, start to go. Like, our friends be like, "What y'all doing this week? Help us." We got one friend. She called us 10 minutes before a date night. Be like, wait, sis, not 10 minutes before. What you need us to do? Wait.
Right. Boundaries.
Yes. That's him.
Yes, I love it.
Yes.
Okay, so real quick, our rapid fire round. I'm just going to ask you a few questions so we can get to know you a little bit more about your husband. My first question, I feel like has already been answered, but and so just tell me the first answer that comes to mind, and you can be truthful, of course. Who's more likely to plan a date? I assume it's kind of split.
It's split. Split.
Okay.
Yes.
I love it. Which of these is closest to your love language? Your husband cleaning the house, him giving you a massage, buying you a gift.
Massage. I'm physical touch, y'all. I'm physical touch.
This was the same Hope was on a few weeks ago. She said the same. It was like massage. It was like no other.
Touch. A physical touch. Touch.
Got it. And on that massage table, yes, I'm about to order me one. PDA, here for it or no?
Here for it. The saints, ain'ts, and everybody need to see it.
The saints and the ain'ts. Listen. And we gonna talk about some kinky stuff in the next week or so. But yes, we need to see it, especially as saints, because you know, yeah, that's all the topic. Who takes longer to get ready, you or him?
Him. Him.
Pretty boy problems.
Mm-hmm.
Which do you prefer, like post panoramic or post panini, as some say? A couple's getaway at the beach or the mountains?
The mountains.
Okay, all right.
Include me in the mountains.
Just us. I love it. Ooh, I just feel so hot and fire right now.
Yes.
Who's more likely to cook?
Me.
Okay.
He can, but me.
Yes. At least he can. Who's messier, you or him?
Me.
At least you're being honest.
Shoes everywhere.
Everywhere. I just cleaned up my shoe closet this week. It was shoes everywhere. It was a mess. Who's more likely to initiate cuddling?
Both of us. Both of us. Because I'm physical touch. I'm like, I just kind of, that's my spot, and just get up in there.
That's my spot. Just get up in there. Oh, I love this conversation. Last one. Which TV wife do you relate to the most? Claire Huxtable, the original Vivian from The Fresh Prince, Rochelle from Everybody Hates Chris, or Rainbow from Blackish?
Oh, goodness. Can I be a combination?
Absolutely, you can.
So I'm a combination of Claire and Rochelle.
I love Rochelle.
I'm a combination of Claire and Rochelle.
Yeah. People be sleeping on Rochelle, but y'all, they just don't know. Like, Rochelle's my girl. My husband has 2 jobs.
2 jobs. Yes.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so before we close out, y'all, let me just tell you, thank you for being a role model. Like, you know, I know people talk about relationship goals and all that stuff, and I'm like, listen, be your own version of relationship goals. But I can honestly say, you two are date goals. Absolutely. Like date night goals. And we appreciate you for just being so real and helpful. Like, thank you for helping us tonight, because that's what I wanted, and that's what the people wanted. And it was all in my DMs and like, listen, I need some tips. And I'm like, we got you. So thank you. So I want you to toast and let us know what you're toasting to. But before you do that, also tell the people how they can follow you, where they can purchase your books, how they can get more information if you got something coming up. Let the people know, and then tell us what you're toasting to tonight.
So I'm 𝘂 Hughes on all social media platforms. If you want some date night goals, clearly I'm gonna have to make a date day in this, you know, some weekly goals. If you want emotional wellness, that self-season, all of that stuff, 𝘂 Hughes on all social media platforms, cultivatewholeness.org, so that you can learn more about me. And I am toasting with my crystal light to healthy marriage, 52 dates, and falling more in love with my husband. Panoramic.
I drinks to that. I didn't see y'all's wine glasses in the chat. I hope y'all had y'all's glasses. And shout out to Mrs. Hall, so humble. Okay, there we go. She said, yes, I love my godmom. She is goals. And we love you for supporting your godmommy. And I hope that she's as much of an inspiration and a role model to you as she has been to us and to everyone on this live tonight. Like, somebody said, I got questions on that good marriage meeting, sis. Yes, I know. If y'all have questions, y'all know we over our time, but hit up y'all. She's wonderful. She's personable. And she got time in between her date night. She's going to let y'all know more about that. We might have to have her on again, you know, for the new season coming up, because you got a whole word for us, sister. You are anointed, and you can just see like the light on you. And so I honor you tonight, and I just appreciate you so much for saying yes and for sharing with us tonight.
Thank you so much for this platform, for this space. And I'm honored to be here, to share, and to have a good time with you guys. So thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Yes.
Any questions y'all have that we didn't get a chance to answer, shoot me a DM. I come in the DMs. You know, if I might not type it all, but I will send you a voice recording. Okay? I work smart and not hard. So I'm going to send you a voice recording and let you know and answer your question. So.
Yes, thank everybody for joining. Y'all was lit in the chat. I love the questions. Y'all have been questions from jump. If you missed some of it, I highly recommend you catch the replay, which will be available on my IGTV as well as YouTube. Wives Wind Down is on YouTube. Yes, thank the Lord. So y'all make sure you catch the replay, share it, tag us. I'm telling you, this was phenomenal. Especially, listen, we keeping marriage alive. We're keeping it exciting. We're being intentional about it. This both spouses, and so this will help you. This will help your husband. This will help your marriage. This will help your family. So make sure you share, tell a friend, catch the replay, and thank you all so much for your support and for being here tonight. Y'all have been incredible. Somebody said, "Oh shucks, YouTube." Yes, honey, yes, and thank you for inviting people. Bring her back. I promise you I will, y'all. I promise. Because I just feel like there's some more gems that she's going to drop on us. So I'm so appreciative. So to that end, thank you all so much. Thank you again, y'all. And I hope y'all have a wonderful week.
Have a wonderful week. See you guys.
Bye.